Hi, hello, and welcome, fellow comrade. Today we're going to talk about the DLC for Crusader Kings 2 called The Republic. For those that don't have the DLC, are going to see a lot of interesting stuff happening in these mechanics that the merchant republics are going to offer. First, we have the city as a holding that can be a capital. We can build trade posts and we're going to form trade zones. All of this is to reflect thalassocracies. So this is the main focus here, is to depict in a way the merchant republics which were the proto-capitalists of the world that we live in. We will have new casus belli that are unique for merchant republics, a particular succession law that we're going to talk about, unique clause and models either for northern and Mediterranean merchant republics, Venice, Genoa, the Amalfis, Pisa. We have a few interesting characters. Patrician Enrico Dandolo. This guy is available in 1187 in the Third Crusade. We have as well Meyer Gunnar of Visby to represent Gotland and the merchant republic of the Baltic in the city of Visby. We have Meyer Heinrich of the Hansa. This is for the Hanseatic League, and we are going to see this guy in 1241. And then we have the Doge Oberto, located in North Ligurian Sea, for the city-state of Genoa. This guy is available in 1337 in the late Middle Ages. We got this new title, which is called the Serene Doge, which is a patrician. The patricians are this nobility that will form in these republics, and these are going to be the 5 families that we're going to talk about. A different color for the user interface that is going to be available for us. We are going to find the city as a holding that will be the capital. As you can see here, the city of Venezia is the holding. It has the county capital, which is not a castle. We have the so-called houses, which are the family palaces that are going to exist, but they are not going to exist really. What does this mean? This means that even though you can be the expected successor depending on certain factors, if you do not succeed as the Doge, you can still play. Your characters will live on the actual family palace. The family palace is this new mechanic that is unique to merchant republics. We can still marry lords or kings and emperors as well, but we have to take into account that by doing this, we are not allowed to marry matrilineally. No woman is going to be allowed to become a leader for the merchant republics. Talking about succession, we can appoint a successor with this designated heir, but you can do it once to one of your sons. However, I have found that there's a possibility to change that by going to the actual minor titles here, selecting here and selecting your other son. This way you're going to be able to break the rule and you're going to be able to change the designated heir for this system, in which you see here, in which you have the 5 families, is tied to the prestige. So a little child like Domingo is not going to be so so well respected in comparison with someone that is an adult. So for example, here we can go and exchange the designated heir to the guy that is, to the son that is older, and we will see a complete difference in respect. The age factor, the prestige, and the campaign fund is going to be a major tool that you can use in your favor to get expected successors. Another important thing to take into account is, for example, if you are the Grand Mayor of a merchant republic and you have a son and you would want to marry this guy into some lord, let's say we would like to marry him with Adelheid Udonen, if we go and arrange betrothal for her, we can do the following, but we need to afford a so-called bride price. And the bride price, as you can see here, is going to change. In this case, for example, this lady, we can arrange betrothal with her and we can do the same thing, but the bride price, as you can see here, is going to be higher because of the rank of this lady. This lady is of the house Salian and is, of course, the daughter of the actual emperor. So because we are merchant republics, the whole thing here is to amass wealth. So this is the first thing that you're going to be doing as a patrician. Of course, you can build trade posts. They could be built on islands or they could be built on coastal regions such as this. If the region is landlocked, you're not going to be able to do that. The trade post here can be built for 177. In the other hand, if we try to build a trade post in England, the price is going to be higher. So actually, the trade post and the value of the trade post is going to be tied on the actual distance. The farther it is, the more expensive it gets. The whole thing here is going to create, if you hit G, you're going to be able, the trade zones, and each zone, each maritime zone is going to be controlled by one merchant republic. Control left click on the area, you're going to also see which of these areas are part of which family. A different array of new casus belli are going to be found with these new republics. Seize trade posts and as well seize the cities. If we were to be kings, we can declare wars on republics by having the casus belli of embargo. If we win the war, we gain money by destroying the trade post, and the member of that family that was defeated in this embargo war is not going to be able to build any trade posts as long as he lives. Now let's say that we are a Dutch that is subject of an emperor or a king. As Dutch Giovanni of Amalfi, we have the emperor of the Byzantines as our liege. One thing that we can say to him is to ask to embargo. We can ask to embargo a rival republic such as the Venetian Republic in this case, and this is going to cost money if we want to ask the liege to embargo another republic. We will see the plutocratic republic, and we will have the patrician elective form of government. For honorary titles, we will have a different array of new interesting honorary titles to give to our courtiers. We will have State Inquisitor, and we will give 3 of these to different people in our court. This is the State Inquisitor that is charged with ensuring the security of the Republic against threats both internal and external. We will have the High Admiral, is formerly the chief of the fleets and in charge of the Republic's navy, though he often relies on a competent staff. This is the High Admiral. We will have the High Judge, which is the supreme justice for the republics. And of course, we will have the designated heir. We have different clothes. We have, of course, the possibility with a trade post to upgrade a trade post as a merchant port, merchant enclave, and garrison, and going up in the tiers for each of these options. In terms of the family palace, we can as well treat this as a holding and upgrade this with guard barracks, small stables, map rooms and catacombs, secluded shrine, and a lot more. And finally, to wrap things up, we have plenty of new events that has to do with feuds. If you have reached to this point in the video, I'm going to thank you. Give a like to the video, subscribe to my channel, fellow comrade. Hopefully this was a useful guide for all of you that are playing this great grand strategy game from Paradox. With this, I'm going to say see you in the next one. This was Crusader Kings 2, the Republic DLC.